Yes, of course, it's that time of the morning, every single morning, where we all get together as a tribe and expect you to join in as we tell, well, regaling tales and fun stuff, all prepared for you for what is called the best breakfast show on Nigerian television. This is Wake Up Nigeria.
Yes, so now happy hour has come early, especially right here on the show. And hopefully you've got up on the right side of this morning. Not everybody, I realize not everybody sleeps on a bed. People like sleeping on a bed.
It depends the kind of apartment you have, because if your bed is next to the wall, there's only one side you can come off of it, isn't it? So
True.
one side is the best side. Hey, Winfrey, what side of the bed do you come off of every single morning?
Middle.
Yeah, what side?
I arise.
Aha.
Yeah, you float. I
want
levitate. And then move to the floor.
Wow.
Hey
Good to
guys,
see
good
you.
morning. Yeah,
Yeah.
same here.
Grand. Well, hey, welcome once again, Wake Up Nigeria. It's the Archie Thursday edition, and it's about to kick off. We love it specifically because of how the various forms of art come together to make one wholesome experience.
We can't wait for you to see it. And it'll be nice for you to tell friends or family members around you to join in. It's going to be a really great experience.
Yes, indeed.
We always, add a little touch of culture to our outfits, Ankara, or what have you. And there's still so much more in store right here today.
Welcome once again. My name is Mazino Appeal.
And I'm Titilayo Oyinson. We have another 1 hour, 45 minutes to thrill you and keep you asking for more. We are live on GOTV on channel 16 and UHF channel 49.
Or you can stream us live if you want. Make sure that you have the app on your phone. Carry us with you. Every single place is available for download on Android and iOS. I must say this one thing. There's a certain sense of familiarity. It's because you're here.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because I haven't started the show with you since I've been back. Not so familiar.
Just say you missed me, Mazino. It's
I will
okay.
never say that.
It's fine.
Never.
It's fine. I understand. We missed you too. But we have so much in store for the show. Let's tell everyone what we're doing today.
Yes, we begin with book chat, and well, I find today's piece very interesting. It's Oluwatobi Adesanya's book titled "Oh, More Heartbreaks: How to Receive the Love You Desire and Build the Relationship of Your Dreams."
Right after that, we'll be having a tech discussion. We're going to be looking at how traditional real estate is gearing up for transformation via technology. Bukum
We have another book review for you guys. A is for Africa. It's a fun ABC book for kids. Kunda Kids, the fun ABC book written by Louisa Olafui and also Oladele Olafui. Now we have Oladele Olafui here. She's going to be joining us to talk about this very interesting book for kids. We don't do this often. I'm looking forward.
Yeah, so I wanted to mention one of the highlights we just showed now. The book for kids, it was so cute.
Oh.
It was so colorful. But I always did wonder, growing up, you have A for apple, B for ball, C for cat. Why couldn't we have more African-themed alphabets?
A for...
Yeah, A for Africa. Africa, Ankara, what? There's so many things. What?
Never thought about it.
B for
Never
Boli.
thought about it. Never thought about it. But it's a consideration that I think should be considered. But you also have to ask, how do you bring up your kids? Absolutely African? Be honest.
Well, I tried. But the thing is, at a point, I felt it was just too hard because I was always searching for African content for them. Now, there are some great people on YouTube now, like... I'm going to mention a few of them when I remember them, but there are a few YouTube channels now that are just dedicated to African kids, which is great. But they were just not enough.
Yeah,
so we
I understand
ended up
that.
being
Yeah,
Western.
of course. But now we have books actually transcribed into African, African narratives. We also have dolls being made after African-looking
Yeah.
figures.
Barbie's
and
got a black
shapes and
doll,
shades,
an
yeah.
African doll, not a
An
black
African
doll.
So
Yeah.
yeah, of course. I think now we have more material.
I also think that the way the world is moving, everybody's just moving towards globalization. And globalization, you can't take away the Western influence from it. Your kids speak with an accent,
Yeah,
you know,
well,
and
true,
everything.
because of what they watch.
Exactly. Most of what they see, everything that influences them.
so
Is,
And I think even on the accent topic, I think it's a situation of if I'm speaking English, let me speak it well.
Proper, yeah.
If I'm speaking
Oh, I agree
French,
with
let me
that.
have the French accent. Then when I'm speaking Yoruba, let me be able to also have that. But yeah, I think that's totally understandable if
Yeah.
kids actually speak with correct pronunciation
Yeah.
for oral language.
no, that's good. That's true.
So there was sadly a lot of content online that had the Nigerian accent that was just not wholesome enough for the kids. But thankfully things are changing. We're going to have a book chat on that today, and it'll be a great conversation.
Yes, of course.
Yeah. Before all of that, let's first check out what the weather's like for a Thursday. We'll be back with the news and more inside Wake Up Nigeria.
Yes, we will.
Welcome. First off, let's start with the news for Thursday here. My name is Mazino Appeal. Now, President-elect Bola Tinubu earlier yesterday left Nigeria for Europe on a working visit. His spokesman, Tunde Rahman, in a statement said Asiwaju will use the opportunity of the trip to fine-tune his transition plans, program, and also policy options with some of his key aides without unnecessary pressure and distractions. He said during the visit, the president-elect will engage with investors and other key allies with the goal of marketing investment opportunities in the country and his administration's readiness to enable a business-friendly climate through policies and regulations. According to the statement, meeting with multi-sectoral actors in Europe's business community, including manufacturing, agriculture, technology, and also energy, have been lined up. Asiwaju Tinubu hopes to convince them of Nigeria's readiness to do business under his leadership through mutually beneficial partnerships, promised on jobs, creations, and also skills acquisition. Reviving the country's economy forms a major plank of Asiwaju's purpose. Now moving on to other news now. Still on that, he also told about efforts to re-establish Nigeria's importance in the global economic chain. And now in Abuja, the Joint Administration and Matriculation Board has promised to create an enabling environment and put in place the needed infrastructure to accommodate Nigerian students evacuated from Sudan. The registrar of the board made this known when the chairman of Nigerians in Diaspora commissioned led others to the exam body's headquarters to discuss modalities for integrating the affected students into tertiary institutions in the country. They promised to provide necessary support to ensure that Nigerian students evacuated from war-torn Sudan are integrated into the nation's universities and advised parents of their returnees to go through laid-down processes. He called on the students not to tread the path of those who returned to the country over a year ago as a result of Ukraine's war, but refused to comply with the stipulated procedures.
University admission is personal, is individual. Each institution, each individual will determine which university to go. And universities have a standard rule all over the world. When you want, we have what we call inter-university transfer.
Now, outside Nigeria, Pakistan's former Prime Minister Imran Khan has pleaded not guilty to corruption charges a day after his arrest sparks nationwide protests. Police say nearly 1,000 people have been arrested and 8 people have died nationwide in the protests. There is tight security at the police guest house where he is being detained, which is also serving as a courtroom. Now, the arrest dramatically escalated tensions between Mr. Khan and the military at a time of economic crisis. On Wednesday, Mr. Khan was indicted on charges. welcome. It's time for What's Up and About. What's Up and About?
Yeah, interesting stuff always floating around online. And found one, and I was like, yeah, we have to talk about this. It's a delicate one, though. Now, the post says, if your mom is above 65 and has cancer, let her go instead of going broke trying to treat her. So it's a delicate topic to talk about because there are so many families presently going through that struggle of having a loved one in hospital, probably wondering, oh, these bills, goodness me, you know, we pray that they survive. But then there is that other school of thought that's, you know, comes from those who have lost loved ones after spending so much. And they just probably have a certain amount of regret spending that amount of money since they still lost their loved one. So where do we all stand on this? I'm going to throw it to first.
Oh, no.
Because first of all,
brought
she
it out.
saw it.
Yeah, exactly.
She saw the topic and...
I saw it doesn't mean I processed it.
You're still processing.
I'm still processing
She could
because, to
process
be
it from
honest,
another
to be honest, like you said earlier on, this is a very delicate one. We're talking about your parent here. We all may not be aware of many of the sacrifices that our parents have made for us, you know, growing up. And again, to be at that point in your life where you are to make the maybe the even most important decision of your life. May we never be in that shoe, to be honest, because, I mean, it would take you from one corner of the world to the next corner. Like, it's going to throw you at different ends. It's going to be a roller coaster of emotions for this person to come to that point where they're making that decision. But, well, maybe somebody else should take it from me.
Okay, so I'll say this, right? As much as, yes, it is a tough decision, I think certain people will probably be halfway into the decision before they realize the decision they're making. Because the truth is that, yeah, I think there was a situation of, okay, if you have 10 million or something like that, and I think, because when you have hospital bills, it's not like everything comes at once, right? Of course, you start tests, that will start a billing. And the truth is, by the time you start a process, it's now be tough for you to say, okay, stop, and start thinking about things. Because first of all, they said the age is 65. And now we literally see people who are 65 like looking great. I'll use Ketenshaw as an example. Do you understand? So people are, I know she's not 65, I'm saying like, for instance, she's 50 and she looks that amazing, right? And then I'm just saying like 65 is quite young these days, right? Compared to how we use, and I think people can still heal. And I feel even no matter how much you end up spending, to know that you did all you could to literally save a life, even if it's for one more day, I think that literally is fulfilling. And money can always be made back. So yeah, I'm gonna sit on that.
You want to touch on it before I do?
Okay.
Wow. That was.
Okay, so too many factors. Truth is, you can't tell. I can't give an answer. I honestly can't give an answer for the first time here on this segment. Factors like, what kind of ailments? Is it terminal? Is it one that they can recover from? How old exactly are they? What is your financial status? What is their financial status? What is their preference? For me, mom, dad, please tell me what to do. Whatever you want, I will do. But there's so many considerations, too many individual instances or factors and all of that you can't have a template and say this is what anybody should do. But then consider, what is the lifespan of man? 80 or 70. That should be a big
120, 65 is just 5
120.
years past.
What are you, Moses?
Anymore.
And who's causing it? If you take care of yourself, it should be 120.
Scientifically, it's 70,
78,
80.
yeah.
Our years are 70 or 80. If you know, you know. So all of that,
120, Sha.
I don't know. It's
And to be honest, according to reports, it's actually reducing.
It's exactly. It is reducing.
It's low. It's lesser than 70.
Maybe I'm the more sentimental of everyone. I feel like I've worked this hard so that my family can benefit from it, and so that they can also enjoy the fruits of my labor. Yes, my future family, yes. My kids, my husband, yes. But I feel like, what's the use of this hustle, this struggle, if my parents can't benefit from it.
Mm-hmm.
If you have the opportunity to treat your parents well, do everything you can for them while they're here, just do it. So that someday, if you know, need be, God forbid, someone would do it for you.
What's their consideration
And on
about
that-
your kids, however? That's also something that, what do they want for you? What do they want for their grandkids?
True, but then on that, I'm going to talk about pregnancy for a bit. I remember hearing your pregnancy stories and talking about how it was literally, there's some kids that are literally parasitic to the mother carrying them.
Aren't they all?
Yeah, exactly. So you think of that risk. We're talking about life. She's literally putting her life on the line for you, literally. I'm talking about money, coins, really, vanity.
Yeah. So give it all. If you have the opportunity, that's my opinion, give it all. Let it all go. I get it that it makes sense to invest that money, put it forward for your kids, for your future, for investments. But in the end, these investments are to make money, to spend on who? People
what?
that have gone.
On things that will.
Well,
So if you have the chance to save them, my opinion is save them.
what about you when you turn 85? When you turn 80 or when you're 79? What would you ask of your kids to do?
Yeah.
I think it's difficult for us to answer, but if we put ourselves in the position of our parents and say, okay, when I'm 85, this is what if I'm 80 and it's like this, then
When I'm 80,
I don't want to stress nobody.
when
I
I'm
don't want
80, 85, by the grace of God, I don't want to be sick and that be the decision of whether I live or die. But then again, if that is the case, I will have enough money to sort myself out.
Amen, sister.
Yeah, we're living generational wealth
So
for
at
our
that
kids.
point,
So,
it's
yeah.
not actually often about money. It's about someone who has the legal obligation to make that decision.
Your kid,
Yeah.
your partner.
So it's either a next of kin, a child, a spouse, who has to make that decision on your behalf. Now, for someone that loves life, like Mazino,
And our
he likes
Nigerian
to
leaders.
ride all over the place.
What else is life if you're not enjoying it, making good memories?
I don't think he's the sort of person that would want to be on a bed with machines.
Nah.
God forbid.
The only machine I want to have plugged to me is one that rides.
But I'm just thinking about it. I would actually prefer to write down my wishes and tell them what I would
And it's easy to say all of this now that we're young. Let's use our Nigerian leaders as an example. We see how often they fly out of the country. For medical attention. To be honest, it's easy to say, oh yeah, but when you get closer to that time, I was listening to my dad's 70th, and I was like, oh yeah, we're praying for 70 more years. And the man is literally like, by then science will be able to help us live forever.
He wants to
He wants to be, so it's literally-
There is one factor we haven't actually, we have touched on it, but we haven't put in its place.
Yeah.
And I think that one factor is actually love.
Okay.
Because what you would do for your parents, what you would do for your parents is different from what somebody who had a totally different experience
Very
growing up
true.
with parents would
There's
do.
that. There's that.
For them, it's like,
So if they
I'm
had
not
the
rich.
meanest parents
yeah,
ever.
they're like,
Still love supersedes us.
love is a
I
big
don't know if
factor.
you had any pointers, but I wanted to touch on a particular guy who actually had the meanest
experience growing up with parents.
And he decided to just get a life insurance policy out on them,
Amazing.
and when they eventually passed, the money that he got from the life insurance, he spread it to all the other children. So it was his own way of getting back at them, so to speak. It's a true story. But now you have a case whereby you have the opportunity to either keep them alive or not. What do you do?
Keep them alive. That's all everybody should think about.
That's what they should think.
Keep them alive as long as you can, as much as you can, as much as they want. Keep them alive.
All right. Amen to that.
Amen
Keep
to
them
that.
alive. Okay. all
That's
right.
it for What's Up and About. Share
We
with us
take
what you
offering
think.
now.
No, wow.
Please say.
You let us know. Use the hashtag Wakeupnigeria on TVC. Would love to know your experience or your opinion on this one. We'll be back. Stay tuned.
We have an amazing show coming your way with amazing, awesome personalities, all coupled with the best morning conversations. What else could you ask for?
Well, they could ask for the best morning personalities.
Like,
Thank you very much.
Like who?
Like myself, of course, and yourself.
Oh.
And Winfrey, who's inside the kitchen taking care of everything that I left there for her. Winfrey, make sure that everything is in the right
Like, I
order.
literally had to come in to check to make chef. Hope he didn't cause a disaster. See, something is smoking. Something is smoking.
What?
Mazino, it's you that did it.
Winfrey.
You, it could only be you. Amazing. So, chef, tell me exactly what is happening here today.
Okay, so I'm trying to fry the tomatoes out.
Yeah.
Frying it out here makes it the rice to have a long shelf life.
Okay.
You have to fry the tomatoes with the onions out before adding the minced peppers.
Okay. It actually smells really
That's-
good already because I mean you have a bay leaf in there now.
Yes.
All right, to fry as well. And what's going
Adding
in
some
next?
Spices.
So what spice is that?
This is garlic spices.
Garlic
And
spice.
This is masala.
Masala.
Has different types of spices.
It looks like it has curry, thyme.
and-
Amazing. Okay. Definitely going to taste really good. And of course, we have our chicken here that's Mazino almost burnt. But I mean, I think you saved it, right? You saved it. You saved it. You definitely did. Yeah, so a lot is happening here in the kitchen. But then again,
Okay, so the
let's
next
see what's
is
happening other on the show.
Add the pepper.
Winfrey, I would like to say that what you can smell and the visuals you can see are all my efforts.
Nothing.
Wow.
It has
I don't
nothing to
feel
do.
bad. I feel okay. It's all good.
Anywho, if you believe that, you'll believe anything. But shortly, we're going to be discussing tech. We're going to be looking at how traditional real estate is gearing up for a transformation via technology. Bukumi Ajiboye is a product and process manager, and we have an interesting discussion coming your way.
Right after that, we have another book for review, Kuda Kids, the fun ABC book written by Louis Olafui and Oladele Olafui. We have Oladele Olafui here. He is the co-founder of Kuda Kids Publishing and Media Company, telling African stories, and we can't wait to tell this one.
Then, of course, we have a musical performance coming your way. Afrobeats act Nakel will be here. Can't wait.
Guest for today will be, of course, none other. With us here on the sofa for a chat, we have media personality all the way from Soweto, South Africa, a viewer's favorite from the Big Brother Titans house, Thabang Mazibuko. He'll be joining us later on, and we get to talk about his experience and everything after that.
Yeah, I've seen Thabang in the way.
Oh, you have?
Yeah, he cute. He cute.
You're married. You're
Yeah,
married.
yeah.
Just a reminder.
It's okay. It's fine. It's fine.
Tell you guys what. Let's do a bit of the weather again, just in case you forgot what it might be like out, and we'll be back for more.
Thanks for joining us. It's time for us to have a discussion on tech. Now, for those that know me, they know I love talking about stuff like this. In fact, I get into mini arguments with people in my environment on issues like this, where the future is going. And we have with us Bukumi Ajiboye. He's a product and process manager. And we're going to be looking at how traditional real estate is gearing up and changing, or let's say transforming via technology. It's great to have you in the studio.
Thank you for having me.
All right, Bukumi. So now people see real estate as something physical. It's right there in front of you,
Yeah.
and it belongs to you, or it doesn't.
Yep.
So let's talk about how it started and where it's going.
Yeah, thank you very much for that. Initially, real estate has always been like a slow-moving industry. Started with regular transactions, having to do with exchanging of monies for land
Yes.
and stuff like that. For now, because of the expansion and growth in the industry, it's going to be a lot harder to track conventional real estate, and hence why technology is moving in to ensure that these processes are streamlined for easier transparency and exchange of transactions, clearer transactions.
Okay, so but what could be simpler? You have land, I have money, I give you, you give me.
Yes.
What could be simpler than that?
Yes, I mean, during the exchange of land and money, you find that there are a lot of third parties or middlemen in between those processes. You would have, like you said, individuals like caretakers, loyal caretakers. You would have Omoniles. You would have several other parties that may want to be part of that process.
Okay.
But what we're trying to do is to ensure that, what technology is trying to do is to ensure that that process is shrunk.
Okay.
So a time frame that it's more palatable for the buyer and obviously for the economy as well. Because when we have shorter processes, you have more transactions done. Yeah.
So for a traditional, let's say, developer, real estate developer, and a client, the process of taking ownership of a flat, how long does it usually take?
I mean,
a week?
I mean,
2 weeks?
it takes a lot longer than that. You'd find that transactions have to do with a lot of what's it called, government approvals and you find that it also has to do with a lot of documentation, and usually those documentation take a lot of time, right? So I think what will be smarter now is to try and bring in a lot of smarter contracting, maybe something on the blockchain that is able to verify users faster, and then be able to exchange that information for monies quicker, like you said earlier.
So I love the term you used. You used the term smart contract. Now, I heard this term quite a while ago myself, but for those that don't understand what a smart contract is, can you sort of break it down?
So a smart contract is basically a tool or an experience within the technology space that allows users to be able to verify users, for instance, verify the ownership of this land to ensure that there are no third parties or previous owners that might create some level of disputes within that process.
Okay.
And then allows us to verify the true value of that land in exchange for whoever is buying that land as well. So it invariably allows quicker transactions, like I said before, and also invariably allows things like traceable and historical knowledge of exchange within those lands and values of those lands as well.
So if I was to compare and contrast it, I'll probably compare it to when someone wants to verify the ownership of a car.
Exactly.
They check, is it the VIN number? What is it they check?
mean,
I know there's a number they check to find out how many people have owned the car before.
Exactly.
Now, so a smart contract would help you be able to verify who truly owns this land.
Yeah, exactly.
And whether the person selling it has the right.
Has the right to sell it. It's pretty much just converting old repositories and data centers or data banks of this of land into usable knowledge and obviously open source information. Anybody can go in to check who owns this land and be able to look at what titles that are attributed to this land to ensure that you're not getting scammed or you're not buying something that is not of true value, of known value as well, yes.
All right, so there are companies now that actually give you this service, or is this something you're hoping becomes the norm throughout the real estate industry?
I mean, yes, there are companies, there are startups who are taking on this responsibility of trying to bring this to the fore.
Okay.
There are also companies that are trying to ensure that even the management and the maintenance of these properties are actually more transparent, because you would find that a lot of these properties and buildings, the life cycles are actually expanded throughout after the transaction phase. So and obviously you want to be able to see a transparent ledger of information that has to do with exchanges and all of that, which then presents the true value of that property and land.
Okay, so I'm going to piggyback on the word you used now. You used the word transparent.
Yes.
Ledgers are usually hardcover books that we see at Alausa, you know, and there's, you have to go there, you have to queue up and all that to see all the information, and I think that probably adds to that process you said was a long process.
Yes, because you would find that these repositories are actually physical documents. And tracking back a long time ago, and for instance, like a first stack, first stack 77, how would you find, are these documents that are attributed to these homes or these lands, are they actually documented enough for us to be able to trace them to the original owners or who they were dispensed to? That information, like for instance, has to be digitized, has to be moved to a more a cloud bank where people have access to go and check, look at mortgage values, look at true values of these properties as at now. That information then translates to give developers more insights on what they should build, how they should build, look at who is underserved in the market and who they should address moving forward.
So can I just ask, hypothetically, how long do you think it's going to take for this technology to become the norm? Now, I know that technology is moving fast. We have AI, we have blockchain, we have so many different types of technology making things really snappy. How long do you think it's going to take for, let's say, let's just say Lagos, to move on to a more transparent ledger with smart contracts?
I think one of the core things that would happen, I wouldn't estimate a particular time, but what I would say is that there has to be some collaboration between these startups that I speak of and also the actual landowners and repositories across the government itself, right? Being able to connect together to be able to say, okay, fine, we have this data in physical form. You guys can have this data. You guys can help us translate this data into digital form and create that ability for people to be more dependent on these technologies to actually be able to do that. Because once we create that dependency on the user side, meaning like me and you and and other people as well who are looking to buy these lands, being able to go and check and look at the true values, that we're then able to really move forward in a better pace.
All right. Thank you so much, Bukomi, for sharing this information with us. But everything I'm hearing is just basically saying that there won't be some politician that wants to redirect a property that was meant for healthcare into his own, summer home.
Yes.
Based on the transparency
Yes,
of these
definitely.
contracts. And I think that's a really
yes.
great step in the right direction.
That's
Thank
it.
you so much for
Thank
coming.
you so much. Thank you.
Let's hear what you think. Use our hashtag #WakeUpNigeria on TVC. And we'll be back after this.
And we are back. Beautiful performance there by Nakel. It is time to review another book this morning. And this is from Kunda Kids, the fun ABC book. And this is A is for Africa. It's been written by Louisa Olafuyi and Dele Olafuyi. And this morning we have the co-founder of Kunda Kids, Publishing and Media Company, with us. Dele, good morning.
Good morning.
How are you doing this morning?
I'm very well. Thank you very much for having me.
Great.
So excited to be here again.
So excited to have you here. So quickly, let's go into the book, A is for Africa. So first off, I really love the playful and fun and very colorful illustrations here on the book. They are so beautiful. And well, because they're for kids, they're catchy. It's, it draws them in just right from the cover. Quickly tell us what went into, creating these illustrations.
First, it was illustrated by Niels Britum.
Okay.
A wonderful Ghanaian illustrator. Is based in Ghana. Fantastic. One of the most talented artists that I've ever worked with. It took over 18 months to actually work on this book.
18 months?
Yeah.
Wow.
And that's because we wanted this book to be a masterpiece. Something that when you have whether you're a child or an adult, I want to own a copy of this book. So we took a lot of time. We didn't rush it. Every character on every page of the book was created separately and rendered in a very different style. Because there's a philosophy we used to create at Kunda Kids, which is African children also deserve good quality stuff.
I love it.
And that's why we created A's for Africa.
I love it. Now, quickly, this is a joyful alphabet picture book celebrating Africa's diverse history, geography, and cultures. And you are highlighted some of them here. A is for Africa. All right. So tell us more. So while you're reading this, you're also, learning something alongside. Quickly, tell us about this.
Absolutely. So, for instance, when you see A is for Africa, there's a fact on every page, which says, did you know the first humans in the world are believed to have come from Africa over 200,000 years ago? Okay. Now, the book is not just your normal ABC book. It's a book that takes you on a journey throughout Africa. And on every single page of the book, there's a fact to learn. Yeah. If I open a page at random, J is for jollof, right?
Jollof rice.
Yeah, and it says jollof. Did you know jollof rice, an African dish, originates from the Jollof Empire in Senegambia region? So a lot of people don't know jollof rice actually comes from Senegal. These are the things that we are trying to fix at Kunda Kids to make sure everyone, all children, learn about Africa. All children get to really go on a journey around Africa to explore.
Now, I love this particular one. G is for gorilla. And then it also talks about how gorillas are smart and they're social animals and where they come from. So it's exciting to know that every page on this book actually teaches a child something about their roots, about their heritage, about their culture, especially as Africans. So tell us about the intent, because it looks like a lot of intentionality went into, each page. Talk to us about the process.
Yes, so what we want to do is we want this to be a book parents and children and educators can sit down and read over and over and over again. And every single time you read it, there's something new to learn. Like you just saying G is for gorilla. Gorilla is my favorite animal.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, I love gorillas, yeah. So saying G is for gorilla, the fact there is, did you know you can only find the mountain gorillas in Uganda, Rwanda, and Congo? And you get to explain concepts like endangered animals, which is one of the stories you find on the Kunda Kids app to children. And just using that one page, you get to introduce them to countries like Uganda, Rwanda, Congo.
I see what R is for
Yeah,
here,
exactly.
Rwanda. And quickly, let's talk about Q. So here it highlighted different queens from different countries. Queen Moremi Ajasoro from Nigeria. Queen
yeah.
Amina Mohammed from Nigeria as well. And Queen Kitamikia Nyawera from Uganda. And Queen Ya Asantewa from Ghana. So tell us about this.
Yes. So the Q is for Queens actually took inspiration from our book series, Africa's Little Kings and Queens.
Okay.
So there are 7 books in that series, 4 queens and 3 kings.
Okay.
And, you know, a lot of people, especially foreigners, they look at Africa like, oh, yeah, it's such a patriarchal society. But when you look in the history of Africa, queens have ruled a lot of kingdoms all over Africa. And we want young girls to know that they're queens, that you come from royalty. It's important. Part of what we're doing at Kunda Kids is to ensure children grow with a lot of confidence.
Yeah.
And that was why we put Q is for queens. And these are queens like Yas and Twa from Ghana, Queen Amina of Zazao Kingdom from Nigeria.
I'm loving it.
Yeah, so many exciting things.
Yeah, so I'm loving like I said, it's the intentionality for me. So there's that subtle, you know, empowerment that you are, women empowerment that you are, you know, you've illustrated here, especially with the queens, letting them know that, you know, as a young girl, you can aspire to be more, regardless of the society that you're grown in. And so quickly here, U is for Ubuntu. Quickly tell us about this while we, you know, wrap up.
Yeah, so we went U is for Ubuntu because Ubuntu is a Zulu word and it means humanness.
Yes,
talks about that African spirit of we care for each other as Africans, and it's a value we want our children to learn and grow up with. Yes.
Thank you so much. A is for Africa. Fun ABC book. I think this is a must-have. Not that I think, it is a must-have for every child. And there's also so much that even we as adults can learn from as well. Thank you so much, Jay.
Thank you very much, MM, for having me. Yeah, really excited.
And that's it on book review for now. We have Thabang in the studio. Can't wait for this one. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
And you're welcome inside the kitchen here with myself and, of course, the beautiful Chef Kato here in the place. You are welcome. Good to have you, Chef Laura. Oh, yeah, let me help you with that. Nice. Everything. Good. I should have one of those. All right, so today we're preparing something that's quite familiar, but only in a different style. It's going to be Chef Laura's style today, and I can see that we have all our ingredients. So please tell us what we're having for breakfast this morning.
We're having jollof rice with shredded chicken.
Shredded chicken. Now, my question always is regarding the chicken. What part of the chicken is best to use as shredded chicken?
The breast.
The breast is always the best part. Is it because it's tender, soft, boneless, and all
free,
that?
yeah, boneless, free of fat.
Free of fat, especially free of fat. Okay, well, that's great. So we have our ingredients here. Please run us through everything that we're going to be using.
So I have the long grain rice. It's already washed. Then I have my pepper mix here.
Okay.
This pepper is the combination of bell pepper, chili pepper, tomatoes, onions.
Okay, everything already in there.
Yes.
Okay.
One. And then I have the shredded chicken, the vegetable oil. I have the curry, the garlic powder, tomato paste, the bay leaf, the green peas, onions, seasoning cubes. And
fantastic. So, Chef Laura, recently my wife started cooking with these, and she leaves them inside of the rice. Very often I actually eat it without knowing. Am I supposed to ingest it? Am I supposed to eat it? Or am I supposed to just leave it inside?
No, yes. Just to
just
add
for a
the
bit
flavor.
of flavoring
yes.
and smell.
And it's also, it's preserved a little bit.
Oh, it preserves
especially
it?
the grace, yes.
Oh, I didn't think about that.
If you put this bay leaf inside a flour and you don't want the weevils to invade it, it's going to keep them.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I
and it
never
has
knew that.
a lot of beneficial health benefits as well.
Wow, that is
The bay leaf
fantastic.
is really powerful.
So you heard that here. If you've got problems with pests, weevils inside of maybe like your beans or your rice or stuff like that, if you put this in it, it's going to preserve it for longer. Just so you know. So I'm going to tell my wife that, and I'm going to stop eating it because I
It's
eat
really
anything.
good. It's
I
really
eat
good.
anything. So our chicken is washed and all. Do we
And
need
searing.
We're still going
It's
to.
already shredded. All we need to do is just to boil it a little bit and fry.
Okay. All right. The rice here we have is going to be enough for how many people? Because I'm counting. I don't know how many people is that going to be enough for.
Just 5 people.
5 people. So everything
That's
we're going to be
at the regular plate, but it's in a small portion.
small portions.
To
5
go
people,
around.
small portions, breakfast size. You guys, if you are a bachelor and know what the heck it is like making jollof rice, this is your opportunity to at least get some sample here. These are your ingredients on your screen: some salt, chili, some curry thyme, onions, bay leaves, clove garlic, root ginger, and also bell peppers, some small onions, tomato paste, vegetable oil, chicken stock, some scotch bonnets also, fresh tomatoes, long grain rice, and also seasoning cubes, shredded chicken, most of which we have already inside of our paste here that we have ready. So all of that's going to come together before the end of the show to make us one delicious, fantastic breakfast. We're going to get started here and also show you guys the process as we go from one step to the other, only if you stay tuned. But let's first of all do the paper review, and then when we get back, we'll be well underway with breakfast. So, if you don't mind, Titi, please take it away.
Thank you very much, Ms. Zeno. It's time for us to review the front pages of the newspaper, and doing justice to that with us is Prince Francis Chilaka. He's a social commentator. Good morning, sir.
Morning, how are you?
I'm very
Welcome.
well.
Pretty ladies.
Oh, well.
So much.
Well, we're starting off today on the cover of The Guardian this morning. And there is a headline bottom left of the paper that says, more trouble for students as JAMB's biometrics verification falters. We've heard things like this before. Where do you think this story is going to go?
It's unfortunate that we keep falling back into the same hole we crawled out of. You know, it's sad for those who are doing JAM, because this same thing played out last year, and they had to postpone JAM and all of. So why are we not getting things right in this country? It's really, really, you know, upsetting and annoying that so much money has been invested and little result is coming out. You know, so we're still going to go back. But then I asked myself, when the telecoms came up with their own form of biometrics, it didn't take time for people to get it done. So what is the problem? Why can't we devise a system that allows the students to do this biometrics in their homes, using their laptops, using their phones? So I don't understand why we keep talking about Ministry of Science and Tech and we're still not moving forward. It's sad.
Wow. Has there been any explanation so far from their end?
Well, I haven't heard any, but I know that at the end of the day, they're going to tell you there are hitches here, there are these problems there. But it's just the fact that a lot of people in office don't understand what they're doing in those offices. There is no accountability. You know, nobody wants to take responsibility. You know, you have a tech department, an IT department. Let them do their job. Let Nigerians understand why people are paying so much to take up JAMB exam.
Thank you very much, sir.
So we'll take one on the Daily Trust. This particular one has actually bugged a lot of people's minds, and it's doubt over Buhari's fresh $800 million loan request. Right,
So,
and this is at a time where
that word
Nigeria,
fresh is there.
yes, is currently owing 77 trillion naira. Is this a good time for any sort of loan at all?
I would say this with all sense of responsibility. We need to stop playing politics with everything we do in this country. We need to understand that the loyalty of Nigerians falls first to the country before party affiliation or before individuals. Asking for another 800 million, it's mind-boggling. It's like we don't even know what we're doing. It's like we're just, how do I put it? I don't know how to. I feel so bitter because it's touching the sensitivity of Nigerians, you know. And then you keep telling us every time the poor of the poorest. Who are they? How did you get this database? We don't even have a database of how many we are as citizens of this country. But you have a database of the poorest of the poor. Who is not poor? I mean, you're looking sweet and all of that, but I know that when we say open your account now, you will tell me you don't have money. So everybody in Nigeria needs money. And then you're going to give people 5,000 naira. Do you know that the moment you give somebody 5,000 naira, you are increasing inflation? Because you're going to change their lifestyle over a period of 6 months. Then what happens thereafter?
What happens? Is it sustainable?
So I don't understand. I keep saying governance is not about what the government wants for the people, but rather what the people want for themselves. So the government should be able to ask Nigerians, what do you want? So that we can deliver to you, not what I think they should want. And this has been the problem of, the bane of our problem in this country.
I think there's a follow-up story on the Senate presidency regarding dissent in APC, aspirants demanding fresh zoning formula. I'm not sure if you've been following the story.
No, I think this whole thing about zoning is actually dividing this country more. We need to allow competency to prevail. And I think it's time that, the senators on their own come together and elect their leaders. That is what pure democracy is all about. So this whole thing about it's being zoned to this region, and then whoever the region brings out, nobody wants to care. It's politics. We need competence. We need to have people who understand governance, who would give direction, who would be able to say the legislative arm is on its own and can function the way it should function. So I am one of those who believe that it is time we allow the elected senators to sit down a round table and elect their leaders.
Well, on the Vanguard, on the cover of the Vanguard newspaper, there's this story. It's actually making the headlines on most of the papers here. 22 billion naira fraud. EFCC arrest ex-power minister Saleh Maman. What do you have to say about this quickly?
Nigeria is a country where each time you talk about fraud, you're not talking about millions or thousands.
Billions.
You're talking of billions. And it shows, the wicked mindset of certain individuals. How can you be, how can you be put in a position of responsibility and rather than deliver to the people, it is yourself you're thinking about. We need to have a system that makes people accountable. Accountability is a problem in this country. And I'm hoping that the next government will focus on it. The next government should focus on accountability. That is the only way you can fight corruption. Without accountability, corruption will continue to prevail. So it's not new. But the question is, arrested, yes, or whatever, but how far will the investigation go? How far will the person be convicted? We've had so many cases, so many billions that are stolen by individuals, yet how many has been recovered? So I think that the coming government has a lot of job to do, especially in the economic sector of this country. And the economic sector of this country can only move forward when such issues are curbed, and those who are culpable are punished. Punished to the fact that in such a way that others will not want to do it. But we hardly get people punished in Nigeria. We hardly. And I'm going to digress. That is why some of us are happy with what has played out with Senator Ekweremadu. If he was in Nigeria, obviously he would have gone, scot-free. So, but we need to have a system that punishes people so that others will not be able to do the same. So it is sad, but the question is how far and how well will the investigation go?
I was actually, I saw a photo on social media of Ekweremadu shaking hands with the now King of England. And it just felt like a complete spin of things. If, for instance, it was Nigeria, he probably would, as you said, have gone scot-free.
Well, like I said, so many. Okay, so still on the Vanguard newspaper, this particular story has actually sparked a lot of interest, especially after a viral video I'll just read the story here. BVN has no expiry dates, says the CBN. So this comes after the viral video that went, round of someone saying that, you know, BVN will only
years.
take 10 years. And, you know, so the CBN has come forward to say, well, no, there's no expiry date. What do you have to say about that?
The problem we've had with agencies of government is lack of information. People are not carried along. And this is where the National Orientation Agency has failed Nigerians and continue to fail Nigerians.
I agree.
Each time there's a policy, each time there's a law, each time there's something new, they are supposed to be in the forefront to explain it 1, 2, 3 to Nigerians. They don't do that. And you see, when you don't provide information, you allow people to come up with their own. And that is what has played out. Somebody probably must have discussed with somebody who was in CBN and gotten the information and decided to put it out. And now, is this a time for CBN to come and tell Nigerians that? CBN should have been able to tell Nigerians ab initio that BVN is forever. You don't need to have any cause to go and, you know, revalidate it and all of that. But it's good the guy did that, because if he didn't do that,
Yes.
we wouldn't have had
Especially in an
CBN
era
talking
where
now.
fake news is, you know,
Rampant.
it's rampant.
Yeah.
And then
No, but what is fake news? We need to understand what is fake news. When you don't provide the right information, you allow people to,
So,
you know, dig out their own information. So it's not like it's not fake news. It's the fact that you have not provided information for people to work with.
We have to say a big thank you to you, sir, for coming to contribute on today's show. We would also love your contributions. We would love to know what your thoughts are about the headlines in today's dailies. Use our hashtag #WakeUpNigeria on TVC and let us know. At this point,
we're going on a quick break now, people. Stay with us. Wake Up Nigeria continues.
Thank you so much for sticking here with us. It's Wake Up Nigeria, and I'm here with a book chat, right? A book in my hand, which I'm actually going to talk about right now. It's titled No More Heartbreaks, and the author happens to be Oluwatobi Adesanya. He is a writer, a publisher, a therapist, and a teens coach. Welcome to Wake Up Nigeria.
Thank you for having me here.
It's amazing having you here. So, I mean, earlier I was talking to you, I said you're a lover man. And we need more men like this right here. So now, let me ask, where were you in your head before you got to the point where you decided you wanted to write this book? Was there an experience that led up to that point?
Okay, yeah, there was an experience that led up to that point. In fact, I began the book with that experience, actually.
Oh, wow.
You know, so almost everybody has gone through a heartbreak before. Almost everybody has been through a heartbreak before. And the one that really got to me the most was when I started the book with. You know, it was so serious that for like 2 to 3 weeks, I could not do anything.
Ew.
I was unproductive. I was just going around in circles. I was taking strolls every evening, just trying to get my head
Was
off
it the heartbreak that turned you into a writer?
No, not at all. I've been writing since when I was, say, 16 years old.
Okay.
It's over a decade I've been writing, writing different books and all that. But that was the experience, really, that really triggered the book. Much later, anyway, much later.
Much later. Amazing. Okay, so now tell us about that, just a little about that experience.
Okay, so for instance, I got a call, right, from the person back then, and it was just asking for the relationship to be over and all of that, you know, and I was already expecting it, but, you know, because I already knew what's going to happen like that, you know, but just thinking about the fact that you put a lot into a particular relationship and it doesn't eventually work out, you know, there's a way it gets to you, you know, so that was just a little bit about how that started.
All right, okay, so now let me go right into the book. So something caught my eye, which I feel obviously stems for that. There's a part where you spoke about how do not base your love story on your favorite soap operas or other people's experiences, but let your own story unfold supernaturally. So was that something you were telling yourself? So was it that you thought about love a certain way, so that particular heartbreak opened your eyes to it? Share an insight on that one.
Okay, yeah, so everywhere today there is always in news about a celebrity getting married or getting divorced and everything. And people now be like, man, I think I'm still about marriage. I'm like, okay, so if a certain celebrity gets divorced, for instance, or it doesn't mean that will be the same story for you. Every person has a unique destiny and a unique design in God. So I believe that even though we have all kinds of role models everywhere, there is still a story for you. So I am meant to base my story, you know, on the supernatural, based on what has been designed for me even before I was born. So I had to discover that as a principle that, see, even if people are having issues here and there, it doesn't concern me. My story is going to evolve supernaturally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing. Okay, so now here also you said many men make the mistake of assuming that every woman they meet is a potential partner,
Yeah.
rather than recognizing and respecting boundaries of each relationship. I'll say this particular one is something I've also experienced because, like, I don't know whether it's this climb or just generally, you meet someone and once you feel like there's a connection, for some weird reason, it has to be a romantic connection. Do you understand?
Yes.
Not knowing that you can actually connect with people for several other reasons, because I mean, in life we need people all across different boards. So now share what your thoughts are around that.
This is a very, very important question because there are so many men that think that every person they meet, maybe on the bus, on the train, or the plane, is supposed to be their partner. So they end up asking every lady out. And I'm like, that's not the way, because the thing is, like, you can't even marry everybody anyway. It's just one person you're going to get married to. So it's a principle here that I believe that every man needs to understand that he needs to find himself first. Then you will find your partner. So you can't be experimenting by asking every other lady out and hoping that if she says yes, then she's the one. It doesn't work that way, you know. So I always tell people that around me that, see, as a guy, you need to understand that not every lady is meant to be your partner, but of course they can be your friend, you'll be your business partner, your advisor, your like there are different roles that people can fill in our lives. They cannot always fill the wife role in that
And
sense.
the sad thing is that once you actually explore the romantic part of that relationship and it doesn't work out, you then ruin the possibility of like any other thing that could actually happen. I think that's actually something a lot of people need to take away, and it's good. So now let me ask you this. So now, why is it that, as I said earlier, we need more men like you? Why is it that when it comes to conversations like this, men are not necessarily invested in it? Why? Because most times it seems like the women are the one that are all over the place talking about relationship or trying to do this. Why? What do you think is, what's the problem with men? From a man, what do you think the problem is?
I think we just think that if you have the money and have maybe the name or whatever, like we can always get what we want. So they end up going after resources instead of knowledge. And meanwhile, we're meant to pursue knowledge in every area of our life, from business to finance to marriage to love to dating, you know. And we, as men, most times we tend to repeat the patterns of our parents most times because we just feel like, well, I'm a man. So we end up repeating the patterns that we have observed over time instead of actually learning and building our own patterns for love and dating and, of course, marriage.
And, of course, marriage. Okay, there's something here as well. You must hold yourself to a high standard and bring your best self into your next or present relationship. Now, let's zoom in on that one. So a lot of people believe that you step into a relationship, I mean, because you see something with someone that you actually like and admire, right? And then before long, those things come and become normal and mundane and maybe sometimes even annoying. But then again, most people are more invested in trying to change the other person instead of actually rising to the occasion of being a better version of themselves. Okay, so how would you say this affects relationships?
All right, so it's in two ways. The first thing I said there was the fact that we should bring our best self. Bring your healed self.
So what is that best self?
So I'm saying that some people think that they need to always be in a relationship with somebody because they are afraid to confront themselves.
Yeah.
Every human being has been through maybe some trauma before, some pain before, and all that. And they think that the only way to maybe avoid confronting themselves is by just dating a guy, dating a lady. So they assume that the person they're dating will be their doctor or their therapist. Meanwhile, it doesn't happen that way. You know, it takes two good eggs to make an omelette. All right. So we're meant to bring our good self, like, you know, fix some issues in your life to an extent, you know, that you can be of value to the person that you're going to be dating. And of course, even in the relationship as well, too, you're meant to consistently advance, because two are better than one, and iron sharpens iron, isn't it? So it means that if I'm dating you or I'm married to you, I'm meant to be better. You know, I'm meant to get better over time, you know. So if you bring your best self, you now continue to improve yourself through knowledge, through exposure, through mentorship, you know, and learning the right things.
Yeah, amazing. So now wrapping it all up, I mean, while understanding that we need to grow and advance at every point, just very briefly, right? So let's talk about this point. We are all a work in progress. And if you know, or if you knew the story behind each person's behavior, you'll be amazed by the time you discover why they act the way they do. So now let's talk about that and backdrop of, I mean, trying to improve, but then again, understanding from other people's perspective.
Yeah, so there's something called empathy, right? Getting to see what somebody else is going through from the person's perspective. And that would require listening and require you being able to, you know, get into their story. Now, I say that because people these days are always quick to jump out of relationship. Like, if they see one lead, like, no, I'm going
Everything
out,
is a red flag.
Everything is a red flag. I'm like, wait, even in football, for instance, you don't just drop a red card. There's a yellow card.
There's a yellow card
Like,
first.
Of course, you can even blow a foul and say, please don't do that again, or a free kick or something, because so we're meant to give ourselves space, right, and space to understand, okay, why is this person behaving the ways he or she is doing?
Yeah.
And it doesn't justify the behavior, but it explains it.
Okay.
That, okay, this guy gets angry every time. Why? You know, and if the person is willing to, you know, to open up and shake, I've been like since when I was 7 years old, and it's because of ABC and D, then you can, okay, take him to a therapist or take her to a therapist, whatever, but let's give ourselves room to explore, to talk about our stories, and we should also be willing, you know, to talk about, you know, these things with people that we are with. Yeah.
Amazing. Thank you so much.
you
I feel
very
I just had a relationship counseling session right here. Amazing. Thank you so much, Oluwatobi. This is actually a really great book that I feel everyone, single or married or dating, should actually go and get. Thank you.
Thank you
Amazing
very much.
having you. Mazino is in the kitchen. I'm a bit worried. But then again, I'm trusting the chef to have everything under control.
I don't understand. Why are you worried? Chef, did you hear what she's worried? I mean, Chef, you know what? See, come and sit down. Sit down. Let me take over, please, Chef Kato. Please take a seat. Go and sit down, Chef Kato. You walk too much. Please stay. So we're doing jollof rice with shredded chicken today, and we are going to be we have our
chicken stock.
Yeah, we have our chicken stock ready. And right now we're going to fry our...
We're frying the shredded chicken.
Our shredded chicken right now. Yay! Okay. Everything, Abby?
Yes.
Everything goes inside our... Jai, why is it doing that? Does it know it's me? Okay, ouch! So I noticed that you put some onions inside... I noticed that I put some onions inside the oil. Why did we do that?
I want to give it a onion flavor.
Onion flavor. So the shredded chicken is going to have some onion flavor. All right, how do you ladies protect yourself against this flying oil? Because it's all over the place.
Yes, we're supposed to have a... there's a cover we normally use that will not allow you
I do have that. I'm going to put that. But it's just that initial that we have. So there, we're frying our chicken. And yes, it's nothing to be scared of. It's nothing. And our broth is ready. Very soon we're going to be boiling our rice, and this is going to go inside, yeah?
Yeah.
And then what happens to the shredded chicken?
Okay, we are bringing out the chicken, then we'll put the oil, we turn the oil there, then we put the tomato, put the spices.
Yeah, so I know what to do, don't worry. So I accept your challenge, Winfrey. Today, I'm going to be finishing all of this for everybody, and you're going to have a taste of it as well. So what do you have to say about that, Winfrey?
I'm still worried. I'm even more worried for you now than for the food.
Beggy, there's nothing to it. We're going to do this. You guys are going to enjoy it. You're going to live vicariously through my experience. You're going to love it. Now, let's take a look at our menu again, just in case you're wondering how to put this all together. It's right there on your screen. Salt, chili, curry, thyme, some onion and bay leaves, clover, some cloves of garlic, and also root ginger, bell peppers and small onions, some tomato paste, vegetable oil, chicken stock, and Scotch bonnets. You also need some fresh tomatoes and long grain rice, which we have here, seasonings, and also shredded chicken, which I am frying right now. I'm going to give that a small stick. Chef, it's not moving. Chef, come on, take. I don't know what I did wrong. What did I do wrong?
No, you did nothing.
I didn't do anything wrong. Did you hear that, Winfrey? I did nothing wrong as we are frying our shredded chicken. So are we going to make a paste or a sauce with the chicken, or are we going to put it inside with the rice?
Yes, you're going to put it inside the
Everything
rice.
will be inside the rice, so it's just one meal serving all. There you have it, all you bachelors and bachelorettes. This is how we put together some breakfast jollof for you guys. You guys are going to see the end result. It's almost the top of the hour. In fact, it is the top of the hour. So let's already get on with the next half of the show. When we get back, we'll be, further on in the process of preparing breakfast this morning. So stay tuned. We'll be back.
Final conversation with media personality all the way. Well, he's quite a lot of things, actually. He's a content creator, he's a reality TV star, he's a sports data analyst, all the way from Soweto, Africa.
Oh, my turn. It's Thabang Mazibuko. Yay! I didn't know you wanted me to do the big part.
Thank you guys so much for having me.
You're welcome,
Yeah,
Thabang.
voiceover practice.
Thabang, good to have you here.
Thank you
Fresh
so
off
much,
of the
man.
Titans and everything, man. Good to see you in person.
Lovely
Great
to meet you
personality.
guys as
Followed
well.
you through it all, everything.
I-
One question. One
Okay,
question for
okay.
What does it mean of Ziakala?
Ziakala.
Ziakala wahala.
It's I think the simplest way to describe it is like it's going down. Like
It's going
yeah.
down.
So when something happens that's kind of big and it's like it's going down, you
going
say it's like
down.
Ziakala.
It's like a slang.
Yeah, it's slang.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's Ziakala right here in Wake Up Nigeria.
With the band.
No,
that
but it's
work?
negative. It's negative. No. Yeah. So like
Wow.
Put that forward first next time.
yes, no, it's negative.
Has anyone told you that Mazibuko sounds like a Nigerian name?
No, actually.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Mazibuko.
Yeah.
It actually sounds like a Nigerian
No.
name. Yeah. But hey, it's good to be here. Now let's talk about life after the Big Brother Titan. I mean, you were in the house for, for weeks, and now you're out into the world.
Yes.
Talk to us about, the experience so far.
So far coming out, like I've said, like the love is the biggest thing, coming out, meeting this supportive base, the T-bangers, the Thabang lovers.
Oh, T-bangers, that's what you call them.
Yeah, so, yeah, like I just came out and like everything was there and I was like, wow, and like the love that they've shown me since I've come out the house has just been so amazing, Finding out that like a lot of people actually know me because I didn't think this many people would know who I am, I just thought I'd go back to life, I could go to the mall, things would be a bit easier in terms of entering the entertainment industry, but it's like, this is me and this is my life now, so getting used to that and embracing that and, starting to make your steps and, baby steps and then you can start moving in strides to kind of make your way forward. So yeah, I'm just trying right now.
So you're young, you're very young.
Thank you.
And it's like as if you
Yes.
put the chart of your life in front of you. Was it deliberate going into the Big Brother house? Did you plot that out? Did you think that this was going to be part of my life? Have to get into entertainment. Big Brother would be it. Boom, bam, fame, everything.
Not really. I had plans to do everything that I'm doing now. It's just that my mom suggested me going to Big Brother as like a thing in passing. Then I thought about it and I was like, I don't really have anything to lose going in except I have a lot to gain as well because with everything that I do want to do, it would kind of help propel that forward. So that kind of just made it a no-brainer in terms of why I should go into the house. So then I applied, I entered, I went in, and now I'm starting with the plans just on a bigger scale, so because now I'm able to do that. So yeah, like I think that's the whole idea around me ending up on Big Brother. Like entertainment is something I'd always planned on going into. It's just the plans I had before the house were, something that I just thought me being in the house would help me do. Yeah.
Okay. So now that you're out, do you plan to explore Nigeria more or you want to go back to South Africa?
My trip here is also meant to help me find out how much of Nigeria I can explore,
Okay.
I also wanted to go to other states, Abuja, Jos. Unfortunately, like being here, you're actually very, very busy. So
It's a busy
I'm hoping on my next trip, I'll be able to, visit those states and learn about other states as well, because I know Nigeria has a lot of states and a lot of cultures to explore. So
About that culture especially. Now, South Africa, perhaps maybe, it could be big in South Africa and everything, but to be in Big Brother Titans means that it's like a melting pot of two different cultures, Nigeria and South Africa. I don't know what your take was on the Nigerians that were inside of the house. First off, that's one part of the question. What was it like meeting the Nigerians?
Yeah.
Living with their culture, their preferences, the way they talk and everything. Was it difficult for you? Was it different? What was the experience like? That's half of the question.
So I think I've had a lot of friends who are Nigerian in South Africa,
before.
but they're not Nigerian from Nigeria. They're Nigerian born and raised in South Africa.
Okay.
Excuse me. So in my interactions with the Nigerian housemates, it was always like, I like how they speak and how they sound is like, okay, I expect this, but then the food is something that I hadn't really had before I got into the house, except for jollof. We have, jollof is like the, number one thing that you have. Yeah. So my interaction with the housemates wasn't really that crazy. It's just at some points I realized that we actually have a lot of things in common, and I should just focus on those things because
I'm going to make
that's
you
what
do a
would bring us
Nigerian
together.
accent eventually. But first off, now that you've experienced Nigeria as the place, is it also a different experience for you? Or what kind of an experience is it? Do you love it? Do you like it? Do you want to stay?
Yeah, I like it. I love it. I could get used to it. But people are always shocked when I say that because they're like, you haven't really seen Nigeria then. But yeah,
Do you
like
think it poses an opportunity for you inside of entertainment, being in Nigeria or making Nigeria a part of that process?
yes, it does. Coming here, I've realized that production here is actually very, very good. It's quick. It's straight to the point. You know, you might find like sometimes in SA with the certain people that I've dealt with, maybe things take a bit longer. You know,
Okay.
so I know here it's chop, 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 chop.
Yeah,
time is
everything's
money.
happening.
Yeah.
There.
So yeah, like that's something that draws me, and the quality of work is also really, really great because you don't lose quality of work with the speed.
Nice. And then do you want to
So,
start
Leah,
in-
let's talk about some of your interests in the house while you were in the house, right?
Yes.
And so far, how's that going now that you're out of the house?
So far with my interests.
Interests, yes.
Yes. I think it's good. Yeah, I hope to just be cordial with everyone, but my primary focus is just myself and finding my feet and finding my way forward, you know. So I'm not really looking into those interests.
But really, what
be
was
specific
going on?
interests. Let's talk about his interests. Let's be
Really,
specific
really
here.
go into, what was happening, because it seemed like a situationship that was going on. It felt like Fed said threesome, somewhat that was going on between, you, Osa. I know it's a
Oh, Kosi.
Kosi,
Yes.
yeah, Kosi, right?
You do that
And
for
then-
us.
Kosi.
Kosi, okay.
No, there's a language. It's from a
Xhosa.
Xhosa, yeah.
Okay,
Xhosa.
Xhosa.
Oh, Nelisa's a Xhosa.
Yeah, and I can't remember the other guy's name. So there seemed like, there was a threesome that's going on between triangle that's going on between the three of you. How did you feel during? I know that you were explicit with your feelings. You expressed how you felt, and that was it. But talk to us about what was really going on in your mind, with everything that was happening in the house.
The house, I didn't really leave much to thinking. It was just, be present, be in the moment, and be present, be in the moment, and you just find yourself in certain situations. So that was one of the situations that I found myself in.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yes, that's it.
Okay.
Yeah.
And nothing. We shouldn't expect any, ship.
Oh no.
Spotlight on
No.
you now.
Yeah,
Really?
no,
No,
no.
nothing? Nothing that's gone,
Definitely no
dusted?
ships.
Done with that?
Yeah.
Okay. Now that we're done with that, let's start you off with the Nigerian starter pack. Since you're in Nigeria, I don't know if you've been familiarized with the phrases that make you Nigerian, make you familiar.
Okay.
Do you have any you want him to practice with? First off,
let's talk about your favorite musician, Nigerian musician.
exactly.
My favorite Nigerian musician is Burna Boy.
Burna Boy.
It has to always be Burna.
Ah, okay.
Okay, so with that, you have to greet like Burna Boy.
Yeah.
So you have to like, how you doing now?
Yeah.
How you
No,
doing
no,
now?
no, you're telling him. You're
Yeah,
not
no.
supposed to tell him.
No,
You're
let-
just supposed to figure it out.
The next one he'll tell us.
Okay.
So how you doing now is like, come on, how you doing now?
How you doing now?
There's a
Oh.
there's a
Like, how you doing now?
that's a bit too. It's like a bit aggressive. How you
Oh,
doing
how
now?
you doing now?
What's in day?
Waiting day.
It's too cool. It's too cool.
Have you learned any Nigerian languages so far?
Languages? No, I'm still trying to work my way into Pidgin.
Oh,
Yeah,
Aha.
I haven't
Okay.
really done much, but I'm still trying to learn Pidgin.
yeah. Now let's talk food, because I know you experienced a bit of that while in the Big
Yes,
Brother
yes,
house.
yes.
But what's your favorite so far, other than jollof?
Fried rice, but that's
Okay.
similar to jollof.
Yeah.
But so far I enjoyed fufu.
Fufu.
Yeah, which I want to try again because I had goat meat.
Oh.
And then I was like, I should have fufu with goat meat because that sounds like a nice
Yeah.
combination.
Yeah, but you don't have like fufu and goat's meat. There has to be like a soup, like a
A
thing.
soup.
So what soup?
not
Is it
sure.
egusi or
Maybe
okra?
pepper soup.
Pepper soup.
Yeah, pepper soup.
Ah,
yeah.
okay.
Okay, that's right.
You know what? We are going to give you more jollof.
Exactly. we want come on over to the kitchen. Let's bring you
Let's
over.
see,
to
yeah.
Give you what we've been preparing.
Yeah, welcome to the kitchen, Thabang.
Yes.
Thank you for having me.
Mazino.
Oh yeah, I put this together. Sorry, I and Chef Flora put this together. Jollof rice with shredded chicken. You're gonna love it. You can see we put some green beans on there and then there's chicken in there. Please
It's very good.
help
It's
me
green
pass it on
peas,
to Thabang.
Mazino. Peas. You made it, you don't even know what you used.
Yeah.
Giving you ordered.
Help me with the water.
Authentic jollof rice.
Yes.
Yeah, so
all
please
right.
enjoy.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right.
Is it going to be burnt? It's spicy.
Careful, it's gonna be hot.
It's hot. It is hot.
It is.
It is.
It is, but it's
Shot first.
good.
At least you can say that you ate jollof on
it's
the
not
Wake Up
as
Nigeria
spicy.
show.
It's not
Okay.
as spicy.
You like
Not as
spicy?
I can handle it now.
You can handle it now, he
handle
says.
it.
Now you're
he says.
Nigerian.
Yeah.
Now you're Nigerian.
That's grand. Thabang, it's grand having you on the show. I can see that you're still busy with your jollof. It's the best kind. Nothing compares, not even Ghana jollof. Thank you very much.
You went there.
Thanks to everyone who actually hung out with us today. We definitely love it here. And of course, tomorrow we'll be here, same time, same station. Until then,
Bye-bye, people.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.